90% of creators don't even make $50,000 a year between their gigs. And that's because they just struggle with finding one, good paying gigs or just opportunities all in all. And if you're having this problem, Jem is going to help fix this. So our platform is a social marketplace where creators can establish connections, find gigs, and brands can find them.
Like for those that are interested in starting their own app, what's the process there?
The first thing I would do is figure out what problem that you're trying to solve.
For creatives that want to get into your industry, what would be the top 3 things you would say, listen, focus on first?
I would say start.
I'm Marcel Clark. This is Hustle and Grow. I have Brianna Flemings with me today. How we doing, Brianna?
I'm doing really good. I'm ready to drop all the details today.
Again, I'm loving that hat though. It's got a unique feel to it.
Well, that's the vibes. That's the vibe.
I like that vibe. So yeah, let's start there. Tell me more about Jem. Like, what was the inspiration behind it? Tell people about your company. Let them know.
Perfect. So first and foremost, thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm Bree. You could call me Bree Flemings. That's how everybody can find me anyways on all social medias. So Bree it is. But I started Jem because I had problems finding gig opportunities as a DJ. I'm originally from Philadelphia and Delaware. And when I moved down to Miami, I had no idea how to access a network of creators and find gig opportunities. So our platform is a social marketplace where creators can establish connections, find gigs, and brands can find them. So if you ever need a photographer, come on Jem.social, post a gig, put in the compensation and the details, and we'll get you matched with a creator right away.
Wow, that's amazing. So, like, for those that are like really interested in starting their own app, what's the process there?
So, the first thing I would do is figure out what problem that you're trying to solve, right? So, like, I was solving not just my own problem, but a problem that millions of people have. You know, I did my research and I saw that at the time, which was 2022, when I first started writing that idea down on paper, that 90% of creators don't even make $50,000 a year between their gigs. And that's because they just struggle with finding one, good paying gigs or just opportunities all in all. So I put out a wait list to see, hey, who else is having this problem? And if you're having this problem, Jem is going to help fix this. Sign up for the wait list so you can be notified to download the app when it comes out. So I did that August 2022. And then the second thing was I connected with some of these people to see what they needed right away. And right away, they were looking to establish a network of people. So I kind of developed like this Tinder looking app at first so people can just match with each other and collaborate from there. So the process for that is making sure you have a wait list. Next is I found a co-founder. I went on indiehackers.com. I put in what I was working on and saw who was interested in building this with me. I got a co-founder named Pete. He's my chief technical officer. He's still around. And we started putting together the requirements for what we needed to build. He built out the website so people could, find us on search engines and start just coming to our wait list directly. And I do the marketing. I pushed out all the content for it. So I grew our wait list to about 800 people that were looking for the app. Then I went and got the design built out for the app. So I created some drawings and descriptions on a PowerPoint for each page of the app, from the login and sign up screen all the way down to them being able to match with a creator. That was just a MVP at this time, which is a minimal viable product. And after that, after I got the design done, we found a developer in our budget and they created the platform and we put it out there. And now we just got venture backed last week.
Yeah, so that sounds really in depth, and you definitely sound like you need to do your due diligence. Talk to us about some of the challenges you face growing this app.
Yeah, so some of the challenges were that I didn't even know I was really building a marketplace in the beginning. So it was really just finding a product market fit. So we had put out the application, but we weren't growing stagnantly and we weren't making any money at the time. So I knew right then and there, because I have a background in project management and product management, that we're not at our product market fit. So I ended up finding our product market fit by talking to our users again and said, hey, we see you're on the app, but you're not really using it. Why not? And we got their honest feedback, and they're like, well, this was, we know we said we needed to connect, but like this isn't enough because the app is still growing. Maybe we could, if we could find gigs to apply to, we'll sign on more. So I'm like, okay, great. So I had to develop a marketplace. But a marketplace is hard to grow if you're trying to grow nationally. So I had to focus on just one or two core markets. And we decided to focus on Miami and New York City. Miami people have tons of tourists that come through there for gigs, and they also have an established amount of people that just live in Miami. So if people to download the app in Miami, there's a chance that they're going to share it with somebody in a different city anyways. Same thing with New York. It's a melting pot of people that either are from there and or moved there for their creative dreams. So we wanted to grow in markets that, one, I'm familiar with, have connections with, and also can see the app going somewhere. Once we were able to do that, we saw our numbers starting to climb organically, and we were able to just focus on those two markets, getting influencers in those two markets to start talking about our platform, being on podcasts in those markets, getting featured on blogs, et cetera, et cetera. So once I was able to do that, I understood what the challenge was. I kind of defeated that challenge, and now we're just moving up to scale now to get 1,000 members per city, and then after we get 1,000 members per city, we'll move on to another city.
So talk to me about the profitability part of having your own app.
Yeah, so it's profitable because we've already made our money back. I invested $1,500 into building this app, and then I added maybe a few more $100 in building the features because we have a pretty good team. I have a product background. My co-founder has a technical background. So we only outsource for things that we don't have time to do. So it never takes us that much money. But we've already received sponsorships. We've already received grants. We've already received actual paying users that are our members now. So getting to profitability, I'm not saying it's not hard, but it's very possible. And now we just raised $120,000 from NextCube, Bank of America, and North Carolina Invest. So we can actually start putting money towards advertising, some more influencer marketing. And with the hope of that, we're trying to get 4,000 members by Q2 next year.
Wow, that's impressive. Tell me, so did you always know you were going to be an entrepreneur?
I did. I've never ever had dreams of working for anybody, to be honest. Like when people say, oh, what's your dream job? It's absolutely nothing because I absolutely had no dream of ever working for anybody. I've always been impressed by working for certain companies. But funny enough, those companies always turned me down. So, now it's exciting to be on the other side and be a founder because I've always wanted to build an app. I went to school for computer science. I have my master's in application development. And I've been actually just experimenting with coding and such since I was 16 years old. So now that I'm 28, it's like, wow, this is a full circle moment because I'm actually now the founder of a backed startup.
Wow. It sounds like you put your education to use. And that's actually,
Yes.
That's really cool that, that came full circle for you. But I noticed that, like you said, you built a business based on what you love and your background. That's very important.
Yeah, like I had a knack for DJing. I've been DJing since I was 15 years old, and I have the educational background. So I always encourage people, like, when you're building something, number one, like build or create something that's solving a problem that even you personally experience, and leverage your skills as much as you can because you don't need to spend all the money in the world to get a viable product out there. Utilize what you're good at and then outsource what you're not good at. That's what's really going to help you scale faster. Because if you pay for everything for just honestly saying, oh, I don't feel like waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to work on this, I'm going to just pay for someone to do it, you're going to make a habit out of that. And you're going to just spend all your money.
That's incredible. That's actually incredible feedback. That's actually incredible feedback because honestly, what you just said about focusing on what you do best, but outsourcing everything else, I mean, that's the key to success right there. So it's cool that you picked that up early. Good question. When you've dealt with, a lot of trials, tribulations, failures, you want to talk to us about some of that and how you dealt with it?
Yeah, I mean, we actually had this issue today. We had a second developer join our team. We were super excited to have this developer join our team, and we had planned out what his 12-week plan would look like. And my co-founder was, had to let me know disappointing news that he had to let him go because he portrayed that he was a pretty solid developer and he wasn't. And I think the trials and tribulations is hiring, outsourcing and hiring, because people will portray that they're really, really, excellent at something that they're trying to sell you on. And the moment that they get tested by something, you see their quality of their work. So in this phase of our startup, money is still tight. And I always tell my team, like, hey, look, money is still tight. We still need to leverage the best people at the cost that we can afford them at. And hiring is just something that is always going to be a tough thing to do because people will fake it till they make it. So that's a tough challenge we're getting over right now. Another challenge is just finding channels to acquire users and not spend so much money. The cost to acquire a user is only growing in the digital ad space, and considering that we have two sides of the marketplace, we have to target brands, and we have to also target actual musicians, artists, photographers, and videographers. So right now, marketing wise, when we spend money on marketing, we're only going to target photographers because they spend so much money on their equipment, and they're quick to also find gigs and actually complete them. As far as like getting a DJ and stuff is like a once in a while thing. So we're going to focus on photographers, and then we're going to focus on brands that constantly need photographers, but we have to find channels that we can find those people consistently. So that is another thing that's a challenge, but I'm excited to work with my advisors so we can build out a plan for that.
Sounds like you have an excellent team.
Yeah, I think that we have a great team for what we're building, and how we're scaling. I'm really proud of the teamwork we have. We're also hiring a community manager. I can't wait to bring on that right person as well. But all in all, like, everybody who's on the team is a creator first. Like, they're creators and they understand the problem. We will never hire, and I don't care how good you are, we will never hire you if you've never personally struggled with this before, because then you're not going to understand the mission of our platform, and you're not going to be able to build on it.
So talk to me about branding, because I heard you were the Tinder of creatives. Like, how did you evolve from that to where you are now? I think that's a real catchy, statement.
Yeah. So we created this platform that kind of looked like a dating app at first, because we knew that we didn't have to teach people how to use it. You know how to swipe right, you know how to swipe left, you know how to hit a heart or an X icon. So it was like it's easy for people to adapt to. And it's proven that people actually do swipe right and swipe left, and that's how they're able to connect. So we didn't have to reinvent the wheel with how to get people to match with each other. But the way we pivoted was we needed to find ways to actually make money. And the ability for us to make money was, everybody said that they want gig opportunities, which obviously they just want more leads for their business. A photographer will love to get another extra $2,000 a month. But where we have our level of discernment is, okay, we're going to go out here, we're going to create a sales team to reach out to people to post gigs and stuff. But our boundary is you have to be a member. If you want to go from just matching with people to matching and getting a gig, you need to become a member, because now we're actually giving you leads. And if we're giving you leads, we're giving you the opportunity to make more money, and we'll also provide more value in our membership. But to start, we did have to start charging for that, and that's fine. We launched the memberships this month, and we already have grown almost 30 new members, so that's exciting.
For creatives that want to get into your industry and they don't know where to start, I know you elaborated on it earlier, but like, what would be the top 3 things you would say, listen, focus on first?
So when you say in my industry, do you mean like being a founder of a tech startup? Like,
let's go with the founder of a tech startup.
I would say start networking. Your network is really your net worth. I was able to rely on my network to get this investor, right? So, and that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't showing up. And as much as I love to just sit around the house and focus on my brand, I need to be outside. I need to be connecting with people. Even if you start on webinars and stuff, I was able to connect with 2 additional investors 2 hours ago because I was on a webinar that an angel investor had. So just being in spaces where you know that you're going to be able to leverage in the future. I would also, go to pitch competitions, see how people are pitching their business. And if there's anything that's similar to your business, really dial in on them and see what they're solving. I'm also I would 100% recommend joining a free pre-accelerator. Those are, that's the best way for someone to tell you that, hey, your business is, it doesn't matter if your business is a good idea or not. Every business has started off as probably a bad idea or a whatever idea, but at least have your business validated, and make sure you join a pre-accelerator so you can learn how to build a pitch deck, sales strategy, marketing strategy, business plan, and they'll put you in those networks where you need to be networking at. I joined a pre-accelerator last year and completed my accelerator program May 2023. And a year later, I got accepted into my first accelerator that invested money into me. So I would say, just make the use of those accelerators, because stop spending time, trying to spend money on being at this event or that event. Like, be somewhere where you need to be and leverage your network. But 100% going to say accelerators, networking, and going to pitch competitions.
Wow. So tell me, where do you see Jem in 5 years?
5 years is perfect. 5 years, I see Jem probably being acquired by an industry giant, probably. I would want us to be acquired by a company that can make sure creators have more access to opportunities. And I'm only, even though we have a great team, we know that obviously having one of the industry folks buy us out, to actually provide more opportunities with maybe like Live Nation, so, Ciroc, these record labels that have more access and stuff like that would probably be ideal. And for me, I'll start my female-owned VC company, venture capitalist company, for people who don't know what VC stands for. I'll start angel investing in minority founders who are female.
So what that goal about becoming a venture capitalist, like, tell me, let's drill down on that a little bit more. Is that you supporting the culture? Is that what's like spawning that in you?
I want to have my own VC company, especially investing into female-led companies, because a lot of companies don't recognize how much having a female leader is going to increase their chances of really winning, to be honest. There's a lot of women out here that have great ideas and they just don't have the network, the resources, or the support. Only 2% of Black women alone get venture capitalist funding, and I would like to increase that percentage. So for me, I don't speak on this lightly, because I am part of that 2% now, and I know for me, I had the ability to leverage my network, but there's somebody out here who probably has a more scalable solution that doesn't have that same network as me, and I want to be able to develop that network and only hone in on underrepresented founders who are female. It doesn't mean their co-founders can't be female. Their co-founders can be a man, and it could be any race, but it needs to be a female-led company, because we need some more, underrepresented CEOs, not co-founders, not chief marketing officers, not chief of staff, not D&I. We need them to be CEOs and put them in those positions, because then these other companies will start to follow. They'll see how good that these female-led companies are doing as startups all the way to later stage, and they're going to start hiring female CEOs and Black ones and underrepresented ones. So it just takes someone to actually go for it, and people follow.
Wow, that's huge. One last question for you. Tell me how AI is impacting your generation and your business model.
For me, AI helps me get things done faster, to be honest. I have used AI even today. I use ChatGPT pretty well to come up with templates. I don't need to hire somebody to do email marketing, for example, because I just put in the idea of what I need done, what I need for my email to say, and ChatGPT will spin it up in like a minute. I could create 20 templates and go from there. And that's just one example and one vertical of how I use Chat GPT. AI is also something we're going to probably use later stage for Jem. It won't be now. It's just the investment is just not worth it. But maybe like when we raise Series A or B funding, we'll implement AI so people can, there can be some kind of personalization for the brands that come on there and also the creators that come on there. So if creators are constantly looking for photography gigs, then we'll make sure that their actual gig board is tailored for them, that they don't see all the other stuff and have to filter through other stuff. They could just see what's tailored for them and they can alter it. And same thing for brands. If they see that their average budget for a gig is $800, we can match them with people who are in that price range. But AI can do all of that. But right now we have to do a lot of manual work. So AI is just making things honestly like faster and more efficient, but you have to make sure that it's programmed the way that you need it to work for your use case.
One more question. So when it comes to apps and scalability, what's the scale where you say, okay, it's a successful app? Like how many users do you need to tap into before you're actually categorized as successful?
You could have 3 users and be successful. It depends how much you charge. You know, like it really depends, and it's funny because I was just saying this to my what's it called, my advisor, and she understood. I said we could have 20,000 downloads, but as long as 4,000 people are members, it's $1 million company. And it just depends on what your business model is. We actually could probably have 2,000, to be honest, now that I think about it, and be $1 million company, because our business model is we charge $10 a month right now for memberships because we don't have all of our features out. It will be $20 a month once we do. So that already drills it down a bunch for the amount of people we need. Then we're also going to take a booking transaction fee from the business that's hiring. So if someone is looking for a DJ and a 4-hour gig is $800, we also get a transaction fee. That's part of our model. So we get another $40 to $80 depending on the size of the gig, because we don't want to take too much. But we'll still get at least $25 per transaction. So it really just depends on how many times people are really using your platform. You can have freaking 100 paying users, and if they're paying for other services on your platform, you could be successful. So it's less about the quantity of how many people is on your platform. It's more about the quality of your app and if the business model is serving the market.
That's incredible because, like you said, I mean, users like myself, we think it's a numbers game, but what you're saying is there are different revenue streams there. That's
hundreds of them.
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty attractive. So, and I told you one last question. Then my brain got going. Hey, but yeah, because then I started to think. I remember when, when everything felt new, and creating an app felt like, okay, that's definitely something that you could make profitable. But now it feels like it's so saturated because everybody has apps. How do you separate, your brand from, the average brand or your competitors? Like, what is it there that you try to do to separate yourself?
That's a great question. So our competitors are competitors such as Backstage.com, where a lot of people use that platform for casting calls for actors, and now they have UGC creators and stuff on there. Another one people would say would be Upwork, and another one would be Creatively. So I'm just going to start with those 3. So Backstage.com is probably our greatest competitor in the market because of the gig opportunities. But Backstage.com is not community driven. We're a community driven marketplace. In your membership, you have access to events that people won't just send you regularly, for example. You also have access to getting unlimited gig opportunities as well. You also can connect and match with as many people as you want to. If you send out a like to somebody and they like you back, great. Now you guys are connected and you guys can get to work on something. But Backstage does not provide that feature. There is no interest-based matching feature on any of the competitors that I just named. They're all opportunity boards, and our business models are different. Backstage is more money. I think it's $24.95 a month, unless you get a free coupon to get a half off. Sometimes they do that, but their standard pricing is $24.95 a month, and it's only to apply for gigs. Now, they do have a great database of gigs. I still think that's a great tool to use as well, but it's more so for actors. It's not for DJs. It's not for musicians, unless you just want to be featured in the film, which is great, but you can find that on Jem too. And it's not for our customer segments. We focus on photographers, videographers, influencers, and musicians and artists. And Backstage more so focuses on actresses and stuff. So that's the key differentiator between us two. Upwork.com is only digital services. It is a transactional marketplace. We are starting to move forward to becoming a transactional marketplace, but again, it's only for digital services. So you can't hire anything on demand. If you need a DJ in 2 days, you're not going on Upwork.com. So that's just another example. And then creatively is really expensive. I think it's like $300 a month for brands, like $300 to $500 a month for brands to post jobs. We are a gig economy supported platform, meaning that you can get a gig and be done in 2-3 hours or 4 hours, and you just made however much money you applied for. But Creatively is a job platform, and a lot of people on our marketplace are not looking for jobs. They might already have jobs, and they just need some more support. And we all know that just working a 9 to 5 in this economy is probably not the best nowadays. You need more extra money. So we're a platform that we can help you build your creative business, but we also get you extra money and resources to make sure that you're good.
Wow, Brianna, sounds like you sound like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I had to give you nothing but love, because I know you're going to make an incredible impact on society. So tell my viewers where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Jem Social app. It's JEM Social app. And on the App Store, just type in JEM space social. And you'll find us I think we rank first now. So you probably could just put in this JEM, and we should be ranking first now. I think we outrank the other apps now. But yeah, hit me up on Jem Social app if you ever have any questions on Instagram. Me or somebody from our team are always glad to find you. And if you ever want to come to our events that we're starting to plan out, join our Facebook group as well. When you come on the Instagram, you'll be able to see it, or when you sign up, you will receive emails about it. So,
well, I'm definitely going to jump in and follow you. I really appreciate you jumping on the show. Again, everybody, here we are, Brianna Flemings, doing her thing out there, showing y'all how to be entrepreneurs and giving y'all great information. I'm Marcel Clark. This is Hustle and Grow. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I want to get more guests like Brianna on the show. And remember, if hustling's in your DNA, ride with me and watch us grow.